Here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane. I don't remember the words anymore.
That's good.
Merry Christmas and happy holidays to our faithful listeners and followers.
Yeah.
Grizzled Veterans has come to your doorstep.
Just in time.
Just like
to
Santa
wrap
Claus coming down the chimney with presents, although we give you our audio endeavors.
Yes.
Straight to your earlobe.
Straight to your internet connection.
And ears.
Yeah.
I like mine ears. Ears work better. What episode is this? 22?
This is 22.
And this would just be generic. We usually have really cool titles. This one
is going to be
just Year in Review. Year in Review 2013.
Yeah.
I initially thought we were going to hold off till January, but we'll do it now.
I think pretty much every other site that I've been to.
IGN's holding off till January.
Are they? Okay.
GameStop Spot did theirs.
Yeah.
They awarded their Game of the Year to A Link to the Past, or Link to the Past 2.
The 3DS one?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that was their Game of the Year.
It's a highly rated game.
Yep.
I mean,
it's probably... Well, Link to the Past and Ocarina of Time are my two favorites, two of the best games of all time, and they're kind of tied, so I can't say it's the best Zelda game, but it's definitely one of them.
Everything I've heard about the new Zelda game is fantastic, so that's great.
Yep. It's a fantastic game.
And
how can you go wrong with that format, honestly?
And a lot of the perceived negativity towards Super Mario 3D Land was for moot as well, apparently, because it's turned out to be a really good game.
Yep. It's, again, in the conversation game of the year, but it's not selling.
Isn't it?
Not selling very well.
Really? Interesting. No. That's very interesting. I think.
Although it started to pick up steam in Japan, I think, but the initial numbers weren't like crazy, which is a story in and of itself, which we can touch on later.
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if people are feeling Mario fatigue.
Oh, you think? You think?
Slightly.
But again, we'll get to that later. Let's talk about a little. So, ladies and germs, what did you get for Christmas, Donovan?
Hey, man, I did really well. I got the new Nine Inch Nails on vinyl.
Or some might say vinyl.
Vinyl? I hope not.
No.
I got the Hobbit Extended Blu-ray.
Did you get a rub and tug? You didn't
No,
go?
not yet.
Well, you haven't opened my gift yet.
Yeah, so, yeah. Well, you
Could be it's a little Asian lady in an envelope. Me rub you wrong time!
Lots of goodies, man. I got lots of great stuff. Christmas is always good in my household. We've got a lot of Christmas spirit. So even when we're having a downer year, we still make the most of it. But this was
my favorite time of the year.
This was not a downer year in the house of.
I certainly hope not.
The Oziak.
Yeah, you had a tough year last year, personally.
Yeah.
You lost someone close to you, so it sort of put a damper on everything.
Yeah, it was hard last year, and I mean, the anniversary of both my grandfather's death is right around Christmas, so it's definitely a time when.
If we can get a little personal, I hope you guys don't mind. If you do, well, fuck you, and fast forward a little bit. But Christmas can be the happiest and the saddest time of the year for a lot of people, and it is. It's the most. I believe it's the most family-oriented holiday for most people, anyway. And I don't even view Christmas as although it is a Christian Catholic holiday, I don't view it as such. Well, I just view it as a great time for family.
Exactly, and I always say, like, you know, I will wish Merry Christmas to anybody, regardless of.
Because to me, it doesn't. Although it does hold a religious, it doesn't hold a religious connotation for me.
Exactly, and I mean it just in the spirit of goodwill.
Yes, exactly.
And to me,
I generally join them both. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to you and your family.
Yeah, like. And Happy New Year, in keeping with the situation.
But I mean, it reminds people of the good times and the wonderful times we have with family, but that can also be a very sad time too. And me personally, we're going through a rough time, just like you did last year. Yeah. My girlfriend lost her father, and it's been very tough. How do you celebrate Christmas when something like this happens? And it really puts things into perspective. And although I've moved away really from, it's not really a gift-centric thing, although I love giving gifts.
And that's the way
I don't care what I get anymore. I have everything I need, and if I want it throughout the year, I buy it. But I love giving gifts and celebrating with family, and unfortunately it hasn't been about that this year.
And really, it can make that time very hard, and then the next year comes around and it kind of can come to surface again.
Yeah. So for anyone listening out there, sorry.
No, I was just saying, and that's kind of what's happening with my family right now too. But yeah, you kind of have to like embrace the spirit of the season and just try to reflect in a good way.
Yeah.
And I certainly feel for you guys.
Thank you.
So
thank you. For anyone out there listening that's having a tough time and has gone through similar circumstances, keep it up and remember the good times that you had with these people, and it gets better.
Well, and all the people in the Toronto area and surrounding area that were affected by the ice storm.
Yeah, got hammered.
There were a lot of people in Toronto that...
But we're good Canucks, eh? We persevere.
Yes, we do.
We get our galoshes on and...
Yeah.
Get down there.
Galoshes. I haven't known galoshes in years.
No, but anyway, that's our own personal touch for the Christmas holidays. Sure. Hope you all are enjoying yours and you got what you wanted.
Yep.
For the second year in a row, I didn't get a video game.
Oh, wow.
No.
I got one.
Yeah, you bought yourself Grand Theft Auto 5.
I didn't buy it. My parents gave it to me.
You pussy. What are you, 38?
I put it on my Christmas list. My dad has
Raquel refuses me to buy me video games.
Really?
Yeah, she refuses.
That's kind of insulting, I think.
No, she's like, you get it if you want it, you generally get it anyway, and I can get you something better, so.
I guess it depends on how you look at it. It's a fun gift to get. I mean,
it's a great gift.
It's like your favorite hobby, so
sure.
Whatever. Aside from the obvious.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'll take one over the other, On a musical note, before we get started, I recently found out, I'm a little late to the party, but I recently found out a group called Churches. You ever heard of them?
Churches?
Yeah, it's like a synth electronic pop group.
I think that sounds familiar, but
probably the album of the year. I mean, it's got rave reviews across the board.
I know I've heard of these.
I'll give you a copy of it.
Okay, sounds good.
They're from Scotland. Lead singer's a girl.
Oh, nice.
But they have a male vocalist too. But they're really, really good.
It's been a good year for music. I mean, I think I've got a pretty cool compilation this year for my festive special CD.
Well, it's been a good year for gaming music, that's for sure.
Well, I mean, we briefly talked about this before we recorded, and it was an interesting year for game music.
A little different, yeah. You had your hard rock tones with DMC and Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance.
Right, and I actually haven't played DMC yet, so I don't know how good the soundtrack to that is yet.
I thought it's perfect for the game.
Well, I mean, it's generally had a rock.
Yeah, hard.
And you want that when you're...
Yeah, it's perfect.
It's like Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, but...
which was a little... I mean, it's almost too awesome, that soundtrack. And then there's The Last of Us with the melody and, the undertones that complement the scenes.
Right, and then you got Tomb Raider, which is using more of a
tribal and Eric's... Yeah.
Yeah, it's like more like just... using noises and things to create atmosphere instead of just having a melody.
The composer who did that, his name's Jason Graves. That's right.
Yeah, who did Dead Space 2.
Yeah, he's great creating like a sound.
Yeah, he has that, scary sounds. The Dead Space 2 soundtrack was really, really set the tone for that game.
And on that note, I hopefully we're going to start the Grizzled Veterans music and review special podcast. So keep an eye out for that soon.
Yeah.
Where we'll go through and... like many podcasts out there do, and give our own touch and highlight some music. I'd love to do it, but we'll spare you on this episode because we're going to go through all of the highs and lows and the games of the year that we choose by category. And I guess we might as well get into the...
because that's how it's done.
That's how we do it. I guess we'll get into the podcast proper. I don't know. Is that how you want to do it? We'll just get right into it?
Might as well.
I mean, rather than going like a format.
Let's not have a long-winded.
Let's start on some highlights of the year for 2013. What do you feel? What were some standout things for you in a good way?
I had a couple of surprises this year. I mean, Dragon's Dogma was a fun surprise for me because I didn't pick it up when it first came out last year. The vanilla version. They brought out the dark.
So you missed out on the awesome intro song.
Oh right, I did check it out on YouTube.
I know, I say it, and I know all the words. It's the most inappropriate but catchy.
It is. By the time you finish the song,
at first you're like, what the fuck is this?
By the end
and
of the
then eventually
song,
you're like, and you're leaving, you're singing it.
Yeah.
I can't remember if I can't think of it right now off the top of my head, but all I need was a touch of it, and I'll be able to sing it.
Dark Arisen was a really, really great surprise for me. I went in, the $40 release for the Dark Arisen version, and
I have it free now through PlayStation Plus, which is great.
It's great. It's got great gameplay. Not the best story, but really fun gameplay and very addictive gameplay.
Yeah, I think it's a really underrated game. Some people put it as one of their tops of the generation as a new IP. And I think it's one thing that Capcom did well this generation.
Yeah.
And that's what brings the disappointment of Deep Down so apparent. Like, everyone wanted a sequel, and Deep Down, the DD would carry forward and give us a new Dragon's Dogma game.
I think we're still going to get a Dragon's Dogma.
Well, hopefully, but
I'm pretty sure we'll still get a
changed
sequel.
Deep Down into a free-to-play randomized dungeon crawler, which honestly I have zero interest in.
I don't want to judge it too harshly before we actually get to play it.
They have a new trailer out, and the graphics took such a step back.
Really?
It's ridiculous. It does not even look good. It doesn't look good at all.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, Capcom's not in good shape these days, is it?
No, and it makes no sense why. They have so many IPs. I mean,
they own so many of the classic IPs.
If we ever did a reflection on the generation, it's the squandering of talent and IP, the Japanese gaming industry on a whole. I mean, it's no mystery. I'm not saying anything that everyone doesn't know.
Capcom.
Yeah, I mean, this generation went by and they haven't really done much at all.
Well,
other than a few. I mean, I'm generalizing, of course. There's some great games that came out.
Well, we got the Mega Man 9 and 10.
Platinum had a really good generation, but not really commercially wise.
Which is unfortunate, but maybe they've got their wings now. You know what
Hopefully,
I mean?
I think Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance did pretty well.
Yep.
And again, that is my whole thing. I wish they would have held off for that before they made the Bayonetta 2 decision.
Right.
But that's on Platinum. That's not on Nintendo.
No, and I guess they've finally announced the PC edition for Revengeance. Mm-hmm. So who knows? That might even be a full 1080p and the whole.
Oh yeah, it will be. I mean, shit, it'll be whatever resolution they want to set it at. Yeah. I mean, it's a pretty game anyway.
Yeah.
But I made a few notes here. Let me put the reading glasses on. Got a little eggnog in my throat.
Actually, I got some eggnog in there.
Get that shit. I need to drink. Well, this. I'm done with my coffee, by the way. That amaretto brandy Bailey's thing went down the old gullet. So I made a few notes here. Some standouts. Let's start with the positives. I tend to skew towards the negative at first because I'm a ranter and a raver. It's a good and bad thing about me.
I'm the balance here.
Yeah, you are the balance. You're the yin to my yang.
I never thought that I'd be the positive force.
The jeans to my polo shirt. Let's see who you are, Donovan. Voice acting in games, I felt this year was a leap forward.
Oh yeah.
We touched on this last episode,
and
actually.
not just voice acting, but like we've gotten to the point now where the voice actors are actually doing the physical role as well,
taking more and more like films.
Yeah, it's perfect examples are obviously The Last of Us, probably the best example. Mm-hmm. Some of the acting in that is just I think it's a seminal
voice acting performance, kind of how Final Fantasy X was that leap forward for voices.
Sure.
Back in the PS2 era, I really don't think people had seen on a console anyway voice acting implemented in that way, and I think the Last of Us and other games as well.
Well, I mean, Bioshock Infinite had incredible dialogue as well. I mean, it's kind of interesting that Troy Baker is the lead in both of those games. So that says a lot to him.
But even The Last of It, like what insulates those performances, the secondary characters are just as strong.
Yeah, the supporting cast are just as
excellent.
strong. Yeah.
And another Beyond Two Souls was an amazingly well done voice acted game, on par with the Last of Us, honestly.
Yeah. And even like a game as cheesy, we'll say, as Metal Gear Rising has some really good voice acting in it too.
I mean, it fits the game.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. Like it's over the top and the whole bit, but it's still it
fits the game, definitely.
Exactly. So I mean, it really, you get it across the spectrum there. Like you get your B movie quality stuff that's just as.
And it's nice to see these voice actors starting to get their due. Hopefully, they take it to the next level.
Well, even the voice actress that does Lightning, and she also does Liara in Mass Effect, and they've got her narrating some of the new trailers for Lightning Returns, where they're talking about some of
It's
the
a game I have
features.
high hopes for. It's looking better and better.
It does.
We'll see.
It looks good. For some reason, there's still some nagging thing.
Let's leave that till the end.
Yeah.
We'll look for it.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me personally, next gen on the whole, both the PS4 and the Xbox One have really. I mean, I know launches aren't incredible anymore.
Yeah.
We haven't, like, everyone's like, remember when there used to be a ton of launch games? I mean, that hasn't happened in 20 years.
Yeah.
Since the SNES really was there a great launch.
Well, and even that had a lot to do with the fact that it launched after the Japanese version. They had all these games that had come
So,
out.
I mean, as far as launches go, both these systems had really, really strong launches. There's lots of games to play.
Yep.
And more than that, I think a lot of people were questioning whether
there's
these
not
would sell.
that many games to play, depending on your taste.
I'm just saying comparatively to launches past. Like the PS3 and 360 launches were terrible.
Yeah.
The PS2 launch was terrible.
But if I have one recommendation that I can give to people, if it's possible for you to do this, don't trade in your current gen system towards getting a next gen system, because you're only going to be, preventing yourself from playing a lot of current gen games that are still on the way, and a lot of past titles that you may not have played.
Sure.
So, I mean, I was talking to a buddy of mine who, his neighbor had traded in his PS3 to get a PS4, and he's like, I don't have anything to play.
That's silly. I mean, no matter what they give to you, I wouldn't trade it in anyway. But I just think that the sales have been excellent for both these consoles, and a lot of people are questioning whether home console gaming was on the was dying and things like that. This shows unequivocally that it's not.
Yeah.
And that's great. I mean, these systems are selling as fast as they can put them in stores, so that's great. That's great news.
Yep.
Nintendo 3DS. Although I don't own one, you look at those titles and how they've been reviewed from Fire Emblem.
It's an amazing year.
Like I don't own one simply because I don't have the time.
Yeah.
I just don't. But I would love to play Fire Emblem.
Well, I mean, like, I don't have the time except when the power goes out.
Mm-hmm. Like, I gotta pick my gaming poison. I really do.
Well,
and my time is getting lesser and lesser to play. I was having a conversation with a gentleman I always talk on Twitter with, and I just don't have the time. Like, I don't know. I hear these guys talk, and like, I have every console, and man, that's the best way to play. Okay, well, you must not have a job, a girlfriend or a wife, or any other hobbies, because, like, I understand how time consuming playing games is, and playing the best games.
Well, I'm like,
and I can just imagine, like, how do you own everything and play everything?
I'm watching the hours tick by as I play GTA.
Yeah,
I mean, like, I just got it,
and that's one game.
Yeah,
like that's one game.
Yeah.
Like, I would never be able to fit everything in, and it sucks. I wish there was 48 hours in the day, and I would play.
Yeah.
Like, I've been leaning more and more looking at a Wii U, honestly. Like,
I gotta be honest too.
It's more about what's coming out, than what's out. Although I'd love to play the wonderful 101.
Well, I'd like to get it while you can still get the Zelda system.
I don't think Wind Waker's a very good game,
but I like. The system looks really cool with all the embossed stuff. And honestly, like, I haven't played Wind Waker.
Oh, no?
And there's a lot of Zelda games that I haven't played that came out after Link to the Past.
Sure.
So for me, the Virtual Console is a very attractive thing.
Which is on my disappointments, which we'll get to.
Sure.
Because the Wii U Virtual Console is not
the same as
close to being up to snuff.
Right. So they have a lot of updating to do for that.
Yeah, we'll get there. So yeah, the Nintendo 3DS is, I mean, an amazing. Now they've got the 2DS and they've gave up the gimmick. See, I criticized Nintendo for the 3D gimmick, because that's what it is, a gimmick, but I equally criticized Sony for their approach on the PS3 when they were pushing 3D. So it's not a console. I feel like I'm ducking and dodging around the microphone right now, playing hide and seek. I need to move the chair right now.
So you can get a better line of sight?
I gotta see your face,
I'm lounging here. I'm
comfy. Like me, I'm stretching like an ostrich neck.
We gotta get another chair for you.
Yes, we do. Like, you gotta make some substantial investments here to upgrade the Grizzled Veterans comfort.
I see. It's
like, if you're not gonna make the fucking trip to me, and I gotta come up here, you gotta improve. My disappointments is Donovan's Grizzled Veteran layout.
Oh, I see.
That's on my disappointment.
Not saying
2013.
I'm sorry, I don't have the comfort level that you've come to expect.
No, I want a psychiatrist lounge leather lounger. I want bonbons to my right.
Maybe we should start doing it in the lobby then.
Sure.
They just renovated
the
the
older ladies to comment and see if they played the best games of the year. But anyway, Nintendo 3DS had a great year, and it's probably only going to get better.
Yeah.
But they got rid of 3D, which is the smartest idea, but the new redesign looks terrible. I still don't think Nintendo can design. I mean, the 3DS and the 2DS are not. They don't look like good pieces of hardware. They're not. Like you take the Vita, which doesn't have as great games, but it's a beautiful piece of technology you have in your hand.
It looks awesome, and the screen's huge.
And it's a beautiful screen. And then you take this thing, and it's so archaic, but it is about the games. So. Yeah. Another thing, on the whole, I just put. Well, I'll save that for the last one. Remote play on the Vita is a really cool next-gen feature. I know you haven't had a chance to try it. Yeah. But it's pretty fucking sick to just drop Resogun from the big screen onto my Vita and away I go. Like I mean, there's certain games it isn't seamless all the time, but I don't want to play a first-person shooter on my Vita. I don't think I'd ever want to do that.
Now I've heard that if you have a strong Wi-Fi connection somewhere, that you can actually stream to your Vita.
You can
from a remote location.
Yeah, you just have to plan ahead. I mean, you can't expect it to be awesome, but it could be awesome. Yeah, it's hit and miss. So I mean, that's a really next gen feature to me. Yeah, I think it's extremely cool, and whether you use it a ton or not, it's just awesome to have it. And I think it's only going to be expanded upon as we go. So at least they're making the Vita a little more useful with the PS4, and I think with the Gaikai stuff that'll improve a bit. And the last thing I put, I just think games keep getting better and better. Now, I know you had a bit of a counter thing to that.
Well, it's interesting that you would put that down, because I just had a conversation with somebody the other day, I believe when I was at one of my family's Christmas things, and we got talking about how generally a lot of people would say that despite the fact that games look better and they're more complicated, are they actually more fun than games we used to play when we were younger?
Fun is subjective. Yeah. So, I mean, that goes out the window. Complicated, I find games less complicated now than they were. I really feel like they streamlined the controls. Well, like, you look at late gen PS2 and early PS3, it's like they crammed all this shit on the controller. Yeah. And it's like, this is how you do it, and it was hard. Well, it was hard to figure out.
Let me use this as an example. Then let's say like a football game from Genesis era, which was easy. You just pass the ball, catch it, and make a touchdown.
Yeah, but I mean,
now you got to know the rules of football in order to be able to play a football video game. You know what I mean? Like,
well, yeah, but I mean, like, you can still pick up the NFL Blitz.
Sure, but if you wanted to jump into Madden, say, and you hadn't played Madden in 15 years. It's going to be overwhelming.
But do people that don't follow football buy Madden? I mean,
say you're a big football fan and your kid got old enough to buy a system, and you got him a 360 or an Xbox One or whatever, and then you went out and got Madden. And
I don't think this is a good example.
And you haven't played Madden since the Genesis era. You're going to jump into this game and it's like so overwhelming.
If you're comparing something from 20 years ago.
Yeah, but maybe you haven't played a video game since you were playing Genesis.
I guess, but I mean, it is a simulation.
The point of what I'm trying to say is that, yes, it's a simulation, and those types of games have gotten so in-depth and detailed that it's hard for a casual player to jump in and play something like that now.
Sure, but I mean, that's not as a rule, that's not the way it goes. I mean, then for you got Journey, which is press one button and go.
Oh, fair enough.
And Flower,
and there's plenty of like Xbox
button.
Live games and PSN games that you can download that are 2-button games and things like that. But like a game like Fallout or something like that. Like if you plop my mom down on the couch and handed her the controller, she wouldn't know what to do to save her life.
Yeah, but she could learn it. It's not about handing someone a controller and expecting them to be great at a game right away.
Well, no.
It's how that game teaches you to play without ham-fisting it down your face, which has been bad. This generation as a whole, they assume people are stupid that play their games, whereas what you have to understand is games used to just give you that controller and put the power in your hand and say, well, you fucking figure it out or die trying. And these days, tutorials are so ramped up. Like, I don't want a 2-hour tutorial to teach me that.
I'm laughing because I recently played Blood Dragon a little bit, and it does an amazing parody of what you just talked about.
Yeah.
Like exactly what you're saying. You have to go through a forced tutorial in this game, and the main guy is like bitching about it the whole time. They're like, what do you mean I can't jump?
Yeah.
Until you tell me I can jump.
Yeah, so I mean, I think they've really streamlined and come to grips with how to implement controls properly. But I just think on the whole, every genre and they're doing more. There's more innovation in the digital realm and the indie games, and I just think it was a great year for games. Not the latter half, really, because, you know, we're ramping up for next gen and stuff, but this year was really front loaded and there's a lot of really good games. And I think gaming's just getting better and better and better. Oh, I mean, I still don't, are you asking me if the games are better than they were back then? Well, I don't know, but I'm certainly enjoying myself with everything that I'm playing, and I don't think games are worse.
Well, I definitely bought less games this year.
Did you?
Oh, absolutely. I replayed a lot of great games from this generation, current gen, I guess. We're in next gen now, but I'm still going to say current gen.
Yeah, I don't know.
We're still in that transitional period, if you ask me. But yeah, I definitely bought less games this year, or I waited until they were cheaper. I didn't buy as many games at launch. I had stuff to play anyway.
Sure. So. I mean, visually, it's without question the games are phenomenal.
Oh, sure.
Looking.
Yeah.
But and they're coming up with new ways to play as well, and I don't know. I have no complaints. I love video games, and I love the direction that it's going. And yes, I miss the middleware developers, like the mid-tier, but I really think indie and digital games have been given the tools to fill that space. And we're getting some pretty awesome experiences, and they're only going to get bigger.
Yeah.
So, yes, it sucks in one hand, but it's also opened the door for other companies to fill in blanks. Is there any other highlights of 2013 that you want to add? Like, not specific games, just like, a line of thinking or something that comes to mind.
Not offhand. I think we covered pretty much the big stuff.
Okay.
If something jumps into mind, I will interrupt us and say, wait.
Just punch me in the arm.
Yeah.
Disappointments of the year. Did you have any that come to mind? I wrote down a few.
Well, I mean, I've got game-specific disappointments, but we're going to get to that when we do our stuff.
I guess the closures.
Yeah.
LucasArts and THQ, and with that, Star Wars 1313.
Right. It's been a bad trend this gen. We lost a lot
last few years.
Great studios that have been around for like 20 years. I got the studio that does Blood Rain. Who have been around for 20 years. They recently closed. I think they did the Walking Dead FPS as well, which, I mean, these aren't
terrible games.
These aren't like great games necessarily, but regardless,
Blood Rain was actually pretty good.
It's always hard to see a studio that's been around for 20 years get shut down.
But I mean, LucasArts.
Well, LucasArts has
unfortunately, I just think they're poorly managed for a long time, and we haven't really seen much from even the properties they wanted. And that was why Star Wars 1313, everyone was so excited for it, because it finally, LucasArts is doing something with this that looked really, really awesome, and now it's canceled. I have to admit, when I heard that it was about Boba Fett, I was a little less into it, because I just wanted a new character for the thing. But you looked at the way this game was shaping up, and I mean, there wasn't a ton of stuff to go on, but it looked really promising, and it sucks.
Right. Well, it's a shame.
THQ, I mean, that's been going on since last year, but yeah.
Whatever happened to was it Devil's Third? Remember that game? Yeah. That was supposed to be a THQ game by the guy that did Ninja Gaiden.
They were going to publish it, but then they pulled out again because of money problems.
Yeah.
I don't think that game came out.
It's never come out.
No.
I wonder if it's still in development.
It was Itagaki.
Yeah, Itagaki.
This guy did
Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, but then he left. He left Team
Ninja. Right. So
and their Ninja Gaiden games just got shit.
Yep. Absolutely.
Ninja Gaiden 3 is just awful. Well, aside from the closures, I mean, I'll just say the Wii U is still not there yet.
Yeah. Although,
if only because it's getting there with the games.
Yeah.
It's getting there with the games, but the tablet still is not an essential part of the experience. Whereas, the wagging with the Wii was a defining feature, and they made that integral. The tablet really doesn't. I mean, sure, it's cool to a map feature or anything.
It's basically the second screen on a from like a 3DS or a DS or whatever, right?
Yeah. I mean, but even then, it's old tech, and that inflates the price. I mean, to sell me a Wii U, the games, yes, are coming, but I think they should just ditch the tablet and cut the price. And I definitely probably pick one up. But in addition to that, as you were saying, Virtual Console, the Virtual Console, with the breadth of Nintendo games and their history that they rely on for so much, and it's just not there. And they don't. Why they don't have a cross buy featured with between like the Wii, because the Wii's Virtual Console is awesome.
Right.
And
But
it's
see,
not
now
like
the
how can you
problem
not
is-
transfer the series?
Because the problem is all that stuff was in SD, and now they need to polish it all up to be playable on
No,
it.
they don't. No, they don't. I mean, I can play a PS1 game on my Vita. Like, you don't have to. You don't have to do anything.
You don't
You port those ROMs.
But
and-
you have to.
No, you don't. You don't. These people will buy it. But they've already. I think
what
it's
they do with-
unfair to expect the people that were loyal purchasers of the games on the
I
Virtual
agree.
Console or on the Wii,
I agree.
and when you gotta buy the same piece of shit, like the same looking game,
Yep.
again?
Yeah.
Like, that's just ridiculous.
It is.
And that's piss poor management. And, like, honestly, if the Virtual Console was in place and in proper and I could buy anything, I would probably buy a Wii U tomorrow. Like, if I could go buy old N64 games, like a full list of titles, GameCube games, anything I wanted.
Yep.
I mean, that
The Wii had all
that alone would justify the price.
Yeah.
And the Wii did have that for the most part, but again, it took a really long time to get there. And that's disappointing because, like, Nintendo needs to, I mean, they pushed so hard. Why that isn't in place, they make the online infrastructure and everything, it's so archaic and old and convoluted. It shouldn't have to be. Like,
Well,
they need to get with the times.
I think the biggest problem is that their management.
Their UI on the Wii U is awful.
Yeah.
Like, people seem to kind of like Miiverse and shit like that, but I just want to be able to, I want a good user interface that's simple and clean and easy to access, and it's just not there, and I don't know what they're doing.
My biggest disappointment then, as far as Nintendo goes, Mr. Iwata's pride.
Yeah, I mean, he probably shouldn't be in charge of them. I mean, a lot of people call for him to step down. Honestly, I know everyone, Nintendo's uniqueness, and they'll bounce back. I'm sick of people making excuses. Let's judge them for now. Let's not judge them hypothetically.
Yeah.
It hasn't been good. You cannot sugarcoat what the Wii U is and what it's doing. Like, the PS4 is fast approaching almost as much global sales as the Wii. I mean, they're halfway there.
And it's only been out for like a month.
Yeah.
So,
Like-
a month and a half.
I mean, and it's still, yes, on one hand, I said I'm close to buying Wii U because all these games are coming.
Right.
We still don't have release dates.
No, we don't.
On
have
Smash
Bayonetta.
Brothers, on Mario Kart, on Bayonetta 2, on X. We don't have anything, and that was the same story, like early this year.
Well, I mean, Nintendo has always been that way with release dates. They don't really tell us until it's almost out.
That's ridiculous, though. It's not the way you. That's not the way you run a company.
I would almost rather. It's a double-edged sword because I find that there's some games that we hear about like 2 years before they come out, and then they miss their release dates, or they come out and they're not finished. This kind of thing. At least with Nintendo's approach, that the games are done when they get released.
Sure, I guess. But even still,
I realize the hype machine works a lot differently now. They're still kind of adhering to the old print magazine style of we'll tell you when it's ready kind of thing.
Yeah.
And there are certain companies that also do that, like even Rockstar. I mean, they didn't really
they have the cash.
I know. But yeah, like I said, it's kind of double-edged
and that's
sword.
the thing, though. Nintendo still believes that their core games and their first-party titles hold that type of sway.
Yeah.
But as Super Mario World 3D is showing us, it doesn't. Now, it could be attributed to low Mario fatigue, which, as you said, would make a lot of sense because there's just way too many Mario games.
Well, and if they're not bringing out Mario, then they're bringing out Luigi.
Yeah.
Which are
the
essentially
Year of
Mario
Luigi
games.
or whatever. Yeah, so it could be fatigue, but this game hasn't sold anywhere near what they wanted it to. And it's not really selling Wii U's either. Which, and everyone kept saying, wait till the Smash Brothers comes out, the Mario Kart, the Marios and all this stuff. And a couple big titles have hit, and it's not really selling systems. So,
well, I think part of that too is that it's going to be harder for Nintendo to sell systems when Xbox and PS just came
and
out.
third-party support is going to be gone. So, my biggest disappointment is their unwillingness to try something new.
Yeah.
And when I said, people say, oh, that new Hyrule Dynasty Warriors game.
Oh my god, are you kidding me?
But that's just that is old Nintendo. That is ham-fisting their mascot into some other genre, which they do all the time.
Yeah.
And like, when was the last time a Dynasty Warriors game was fun? Like, I used to enjoy them.
Why not team up with Square and do a real RPG?
Why not
Mario
create
RPG?
a new character?
Yeah, well, exactly.
Why not do that? I mean, like,
or at the very
just
least,
go a different direction with your titles. Like, I don't know, man.
Where's
like,
Metroid?
Yeah, exactly. And you know, which can lead us to another disappointment. This is VGX. Like, Donkey Kong, you have this opportunity where there's millions of people watching.
Actually, I'm adding VGX.
Well, we're going to lead right into it now because I don't want to heap on it too much, but there's just so much puzzling decisions out of them. And honestly, I don't care what the Wii U sells, personally. Like, I don't have anything vested in it, but the numbers are what they are. And if the games are good, they're good. But they need to do something different.
Yeah.
And squandering, the VGX time on Donkey Kong Country is, like, I'm sure it's gonna be a good game, but it's Donkey Kong, man. Like, I'm sorry, like, you have titles like The Division showing up and The Witcher 3 and Titanfall. Really? Donkey Kong?
And you're showing the old coot in Donkey Kong.
Yeah, and like, that was, and you could tell Jeff wasn't happy.
Yeah.
Like, that's all you're gonna show. But anyway.
Yeah.
Let's not too much time in the VGS because it was
all I want to say, and we both agree, I think, that Josh dude, whatever the guy from Community,
Joel McHale,
he basically ruined.
Yeah.
What could have been a half decent show. I mean, they had other things that were wrong with it, but
this is going to lead into another thing at the end. I have a point down here, just games journalism as a whole and how it represents itself. So this kind of goes hand in hand. What else do we got here? I mentioned the Kinect 2.0 is just not quite up to snuff still. I know some people have good experiences with it, but reading a lot of the major outlets have listed this as a disappointment, and I've watched major streams from Revengeance to Giant Bomb to and again Kotaku and other people. Like, it works about 80% of the time to 75% of the time, maybe even less, but for a voice command that's supposed to substitute and control UI, it needs to work all the time, and it's not working all the time. And it still does not justify. It's $100. That's where the $100 difference is. There's no real killer app for it.
Adam did tell me that he was able to eat his dinner and watch a whole bunch of stuff on the Xbox and command stuff, all by voice command.
Well, so he's done. I don't know. Maybe he has an optimal environment. I don't know.
But he basically
and that's great. It's working for him.
Sat down, had a sandwich, watched some streaming or whatever, and did a few other things, and did it all hands free. So
that's really cool. I mean, but to me personally, I don't think I would never use it.
It's not a selling point to me necessarily. No. Although I've never used it before, so maybe I use it and I'm gonna go, oh my god, this is the greatest thing I've ever done. Besides,
but there's still time. Just right now, it doesn't justify the $100 difference.
Yeah. Well, again, for me, there's not the games. I'm still waiting for the games.
Yeah.
So.
Moving right along, the Vita still lacks focus. Yes, remote plays good, and the Vita's getting these cross-buy games.
Now, did they release the bundle for the PS4
not yet.
They're not doing
Not
that
yet. I think it's coming out next year.
With the Japan launch, probably?
Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe.
It should be out.
Speculating.
But it still lacks a focus. It doesn't have enough exclusive games, and it gets to trickle down and dumb down versions of PS3 games and things like that. And don't get me wrong, I like my Vita a lot, and I'm playing the new East game on it right now. But it still lacks an identity. And maybe people want to say its identity is, all these mishmash of things, like it's getting HD remasters or old ports and cross-buy games and things like that. But that's not its own. It's just borrowing from other things.
Right.
I'd like to see the Vita take on its own life. I don't know if it's ever going to get there, because I don't know if it's going to have the sales support for other companies to latch on, but maybe Sony can leverage the PS4 and its connectivity with the Vita, but it's not there yet.
It's going to be more of a component of the PS4, companion piece.
So that's still, I thought they would really, like, the Vita hasn't really had a bad year, and it's been okay, but it's nowhere near what
like
it should
lukewarm.
Be. Yeah, lukewarm.
Yeah.
So it's a disappointment. The Tomb Raider remaster.
Yeah, okay, so they just announced the Tomb Raider reboot remaster. And Square wants to charge full price for this thing, and it's like, you're re-releasing a game from this year. How dare you charge full price for it? That's my reaction anyway. So what if they've thrown in some little bits of DLC? This game didn't have hardly any DLC in the first place.
It was all multiplayer.
Yeah, and the little piece of single-player content is like a 10-minute part of the game.
Yeah.
So just because you've, sweetened it up and made it look pretty does not, by any means, justify a $60
like I said to you, I mean, it's obvious they're doing this because they want more sales, even though the game sold well. But I think $60 is asking a little bit much.
I guarantee that you.
And honestly, Tomb Raider's not a game I want to play again. I really enjoyed it, and I thought it was great. And it's a great looking game.
Yeah.
Anyway, the new hair stuff is cool and all. I mean, if they gave it to me for free, I might try it, but I'm certainly not going to buy it. I mean,
like, you and I have both played through it, so there's no real impetus besides seeing the prettiness of it.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I'll be honest, I'd like to see it working.
Sure.
So I can...
Like, I really enjoyed my time with it, but I thought it was a pretty forgettable game.
Well, and that's basically...
That left an impression on me, like, I can't wait for the sequel, but I don't need any more of this.
Exactly, and, like, you and I both 100%ed it.
Yeah.
There's no reason to go back.
No.
For me.
No, and, like, I've seen this game on a lot of, like, outlets' Game of the Year lists, and I don't get that at all. I don't think it's there. And that doesn't mean it's a bad game. No. I just don't... It's not worthy of being in the top 10 games of the year at all.
It's kind of like the Dark Horse or whatever. But like,
it was a very solid adventure game, and I think it's a very competent remaster of the brand. I loved it. I love the new Lara. I really like the game, but it's not it's just better games.
It's an 80 out of 100.
Sure. I mean, it's a strong 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An A minus. You know what I mean? Like, it's a really well put together game, but after you've played it, you don't really remember how it tasted.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I mean, I guess we can end on the final one.
Unfinished games.
Well, no, I wanted to talk about
the game?
The other one I got there.
Yeah, okay.
I guess you could talk about unfinished games.
Well, just like, all these games, day one patches, this is...
Well, EA had a bad
year. This is a reoccurring thing, I feel like the last few years. And it's not going away. It's probably not going to ever go away at this point, but it at least has to get to the point where, like, I'm going to use Battlefield 4. It seems to be the best example. EA had a bad year, but, I mean, I've heard you go on and on about how bad the launch of the Battlefield 4 was.
Well, it's not just me. I know still got problems.
Yeah.
All this later, like, and that doesn't mean it isn't working for some people, and it is. Like, I know our buddy there, he's had a great experience with it.
Yeah, Kirk's been playing it, and
he says he had a great experience. But I mean, the majority of people, it drops games.
Yeah, I think he's had a few drop games too, but he's dealing with it. It doesn't bother him as much.
It's pretty mild though. I mean, it's broken, and let's just face it. Like, EA gets bad company every year, and it doesn't deserve it. But they're kind of justifying a lot of it right now because they had a horrible year. I don't think they released a finished game.
Yeah.
SimCity was a disaster. And Battlefield 4 is still fucked up, and it's not because of DICE. I completely blame EA. They didn't give them enough time to finish the game.
No. The only thing that I can say that EA did good this year was they got rid of season passes.
Yeah, that's more of a company or the fans really.
Well, I got a used copy of Dead Space 3 that I didn't have to pay $10 to unlock the co-op for.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That would have been stupid. So,
finish those games, peeps.
Yeah,
finish them. My biggest disappointment of the year is probably just gaming journalism and coverage on the whole. The more and more I get closer to this kind of stuff and writing and seeing how these major outlets cover our passion, I really feel like it's undercovered, and it doesn't do justification for what this hobby is. Gaming is a business that earns more annually than films does. Mm-hmm. Yet it's still a
mired
and the juvenile.
Well, unfortunately, that's not just the journalism, but there's a lot of vocal
Well, that's the internet. Okay,
Yeah,
but I mean, you can't tell people what to be like. I mean, honestly, it's probably because you don't go on Film Critic. I bet you it's just as widespread in
it's
film.
everywhere.
It's on film sites.
My dad
as well.
was saying, he goes on the
And music critique sites, and it's the same shit. That's the internet.
Somebody doesn't like something, and they call someone
That's right.
an idiot.
Yeah, and that's the internet. That's YouTube comments. It's just that is the way it is.
Yeah.
We just happen to see it front and center with games.
Right.
I feel like these major outlets, and I always call them out, IGN and game trailers,
GameStop,
and GameStop. I feel like IGN is the leading one. I really feel like they've done a much worse job covering games and representing games as the years have gone on.
I feel like they're making stories out of nothing.
Their entire editorial layout these days is lists. Everything is a list, and that is the cesspool of games journalism. Now I understand you could.
GT's been doing it bad too lately,
and it's just
lists
clickbait garbage. And now there's some good stuff out there, like Polygon. I don't agree with everything, but you shouldn't have to.
No.
But they do have some great stories there. I mean, I suggest visiting their site and seeing some of the stories. They picked up one of IGN's best writers, Colin Campbell, who just takes a different look to gaming. Now I understand that isn't what everyone wants,
right?
And that's not exactly what I'm talking about.
Perspective.
But I'm sick of watching fat guys pull their shirts down in videos. I'm sick of watching the nerd. I mean, these guys fit right into the stereotype of gamer.
Yeah.
Gamers aren't those people really anymore. Let's open our horizons here and start representing giving our passion a better representation to the public.
Yeah.
Like we talked about this before. Say what you want about Jeff Keighley, but I think the guy's really well spoken. He's a great interviewer. He asks tough questions, and he looks good. Like he's presentable, professional.
Yeah.
There's no mystery why he gets the biggest scoops in the business.
Here's a good example. I've actually stopped going to Screw Attack because I got to the point where I just felt like, man, you guys, as loose as your attitude is, and I can appreciate that to a certain extent, man, I can't watch hard news anymore. Because these guys that they've got on there are like
I don't need to watch a 21-year-old kid. Treating it and talking about it as a joke.
Yeah.
Now it doesn't have to be super serious all the time. They're horrible. Is this really what it is? I mean, you don't. If you watch sports journalism and the way they cover that, yes, it's a different animal. But again, we're talking journalism and how things are covered.
Yeah.
Their approach isn't a goddamn joke.
No, but
all the time.
Putting on a suit jacket does not a newscaster make you.
No, let's clean up our act here.
Like Destin Legary used to be the host of Hard News, and he left Screw Attack about 2 years ago
for IGN. Yeah,
and he had his own little site for a while before he started working with IGN. But
Destin's very well spoken.
He was awesome, and then Jared took over after him, and he was good, but not quite as good as Destin. But now. I guess, Jared left.
I don't want to criticize people in general, like a person individual.
But that's
who they are, and they're doing it. I'm not trying to. But it's the direction the studio or these sites are taking.
Yeah.
It's not. What's the word? It's not doing justice for the medium. We deserve better.
Yeah.
Gaming deserves better. It needs to be covered better.
Yeah.
And
there is room for the more loose stuff.
Yes,
but can we not have?
But is that all we're gonna do?
Yeah.
Is this how we is gaming a joke? I don't think it's a joke.
Yeah.
And is that how you cover games all the time? It shouldn't be a joke.
I'm not saying be super serious all the time either, but
but can we not have discussions between people that actually look like they want to be there?
Yeah.
People that care about the way they look.
Yeah.
Like professional. If let's upgrade the way we cover and talk about games.
It's funny because I remember seeing a video for when Devil May Cry was in development, and the guy from Ninja Studios, what is it, Ninja Theory, and the lead guy there, he had pretty crazy styled hair and stuff like that, and here's a guy that actually made himself look good for these interviews and stuff. And then I'm reading the comments, and all these people are doing is cutting up this guy for his crazy hairdo.
Well, that's the internet. And I don't begrudge creative, because creative is what they are. Yeah. These guys make great games. I don't really care how they look. Their job is to cover the industry as a whole and be the face of the industry.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, people, like you're talking about your mom, okay? Your mom, you give her controllers, can be tough. I'm just saying, you put your mom in front of and give her, like, force feed her gaming coverage.
Yeah.
She's gonna, like, her stigma about gaming being juvenile, let's just say that is her thing, and you're trying to change her mind. Gaming coverage is not going to change her mind. If anything, it's going to reinforce that point of view. Yeah. It doesn't, the way games are covered is not good.
Super selective on what you would show.
Oh my god, like,
it'd be so easy to come across something that would just be so ridiculous.
Like, you see a bunch of slobs covering games,
chasing down cosplayers.
Yeah, like, I understand this is part of it, and there's a way to do it. And again, like, I don't presume to have all the answers, but let's just have a little bit of fucking pride in the way we look and the way we talk.
And now, brief musical interlude before we get into our awards from one of our favorite games of the year.
Okay, I'm back, and I'm drinking rum and eggnog now.
Yes.
Fulfilling the promise that we had at the beginning of the episode.
How is it good?
It's actually fantastic with Appleton rum. You know, that last rant took a lot out of me, so I've decided to just get shit-faced, and I'm gonna leave all those grumpy, gloomy thoughts at the door at the previous intermission
and
roll into some more positiveness. Now we're gonna have some fun.
All right.
I don't want to be a Grinch humbug anymore.
It's time to talk about all the great things.
But gaming coverage sucks.
Yeah.
Do better.
All right.
Yes, but the second annual Grizzled Veterans Awards are upon us.
Here we go.
This is a lot of fun.
It is.
Last year we winged it. This year we made some notes.
Yes. I remember last year we just kind of...
Yeah, last year Donovan said Journey was his action game of the year. And then he recanted it. So
that's right.
But we did it on the fly. So to avoid things like that,
I actually last night I made my list. So
which will make it run maybe a little bit better.
Yeah. Okay.
And as usual, Donovan will put all his fantastic editing touches into this.
Yes.
I just talk. Donovan does all the work.
Hey, well, I'm getting the score for GTA 5 as we speak. So,
oh, are you? Cool.
Yeah. So I'll be there'll probably be some layerings of that in this episode. So, got our little listy here.
You choose. We'll go back and forth.
Sure.
You propose the category, and then I'll talk.
I'm just going to start at the top of my list, and I happen to put RPG at the top. So, for me this year...
Yeah, you go.
I played a few RPGs.
Some background. It's been a rather weak year.
Yeah.
If you didn't own a 3DS.
Last year was definitely a better year for home console RPGs. As far as the style that I like to play. So this year it was a little dry. It was mostly in the early part of the...
I have mine now.
The first half of the year was when I played my RPGs. But I started the year with Ni no Kuni. Loved that game. And the other one that I put a lot of time into is Dark Arisen. So that's... Dark Arisen I'm going to give my honorable mention to.
Yeah.
because I definitely
do that as much as you want.
I sunk a lot of time into Dark
Game's
Arisen.
fucking awesome.
It looks great. It's a lot of fun to play. Like I mentioned earlier, the story's not epic, you know.
Yeah, but it's all about, I mean, how the combat handles and how the monsters are, and is the grinding and, you know, the leveling up.
The grinding is fun, you know, and the enemies.
It's like almost like a New Age Gauntlet in some ways.
Yeah, it's a Dungeons and Dragons
more open
aesthetic. Like a very traditional Dungeons and Dragons aesthetic in that game, which I really enjoyed, which was a very drastic jump from Ni no Kuni, which I'm actually giving my award to this year. Ni no Kuni looked great in a completely different way. Anybody that's familiar with Studio Ghibli, depending on how you want to pronounce it,
doesn't matter.
Very, obviously it's a very fully realized vision of their art style in a game.
It does look
You
fantastic.
didn't enjoy it as much as I did.
Yeah, but don't worry about me. This is you got the stage.
I thought the story was extremely touching, and a nice change of pace from in an era where everything is dark and gloomy and gray, and this is a very, very colorful game.
I can agree with that.
With a lot of heart, and that's kind of a pun, but at the same time, it's just appropriate to use that term.
Tidy!
Toity! Yeah, I really, really... one of my favorite characters from this year would have been...
Mr. Drippy?
Was definitely Mr. Drippy. There's some very funny moments in that game, and a lot of it had to do with him and also others of his kind.
Only boy!
Yeah. There's a little stand-up comedy section in about 2/3 of the way through the film. That just broke me up.
And it's just like they're intentionally bad. I will admit it's not like I hated the game.
Yeah.
I don't hate it at all. And it did have some great parts to it. It did.
But it didn't resonate with you in the same way, and I think you had a harder time.
I'll save my thoughts on it for a little bit later.
Sure.
But I'm glad, like, Ni no Kuni is a gorgeous, gorgeous game.
Yeah.
Presentationally wise, it is fantastic. It's everything I want in an RPG from presentation and visuals.
What's interesting too is I found that the animated bits were actually of a lower quality than the in-engine stuff, which was kind of a little jarring at times, but I can see you. It wasn't enough. There weren't enough frames in the animation.
Well, I mean, they used to have that problem when they started making Dragon Ball Z games. Like at first, you know, they throw the cutscenes in from the anime, and they look so good, but eventually the in-game graphics just outpaced the anime visuals, so they started cutting them out, or like just using in-game graphics to repeat those. Anime. So I see what you're saying. For me, my take, it was a slim. I'm trying to remember. I played RPGs that didn't come out this year.
Right.
I'm playing an action RPG right now, Ys Memory of Celceta, which I do enjoy because I love that franchise. It's just, I think it's one of the weaker entries in the franchise.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean it's a bad game. It's just, it's such a good action RPG franchise. Like Ys Book 1 and 2, Oto Felgana. Ys 7 is still a really good game, probably better than this. I just played so many of them and I love them.
Right.
That this game's still a ton of fun.
Cool.
So I'll give it an honorable mention. I think more people should play the Ys franchise. It has fantastic soundtrack.
Well, I think for you and I both, Ys has definitely resonated with us. So
and the word on now is that Falcom is making a PS4 game.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that would.
It may be on. I don't know if it's coming to Xbox One. Doesn't really matter. But they're making a next gen game.
Well, that's.
Their games aren't lookers anyway, but like they're always really, really tight gameplay wise, and their combat loop is very, very fun, and the music always wails. So I mean, you can't go wrong with that. It's just it's a classic franchise. And Ni no Kuni, I did play it, and I did somewhat enjoy it, but in the end, I think it's kind of an average RPG. I'm going to give mine to Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn.
Oh, right.
I guess you could loophole it in an MMO, but it's really not a traditional MMO in the sense of its story.
Yeah.
Because the way they've made this game, it's a very single. You could play it almost entirely by yourself, other than certain instances with dungeons and bosses and things. The story now, it is full MMO on top of that, but I think it's a fantastic. It's the best MMO of the year, and as an RPG, it's it's awesome.
Well, I've certainly sunk plenty of hours into it myself too.
You guys gotta start playing it now that patch 2.0 is here, or 2.1's here.
I did get the patch, so
yeah. I want to get into it. I really want to get some endgame content going. You guys need to step up.
yeah.
That'll be my game, and I think the lone highlight this generation, well, not lone, but one of them is how Square Enix reimagined the Final Fantasy XIV game.
Right.
It's pretty awesome.
Well, they should be given a certain amount of credit, especially the main director that changed, right? And
yes.
Basically,
Naples is and I mean he worked his ass off.
Yeah.
He did, and kudos to him. He's done a fantastic job, and like a lot of people keep looking up the Elder Scrolls online, like it's gonna. The best MMO is right now. Play it. It's Final Fantasy XIV. It's only gonna get better. It's hard. It's tough to judge these games at launch because they get so much better quickly.
Yeah, and I think that's what's going to happen with me too. Is that I'm in a bit of a point right now where I feel a little bored.
We'll finish the story because there's a ton of content out there to play.
So,
and I need help, and I'm waiting for the PS4 version to really jump back in, which is in April.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, well, that's
that's our RPGs of the year.
Yeah,
we'll go to action game of the year.
Slice and dice.
Slice and dice, yes. Slice and dice.
Which was definitely...
you want to go first?
Yeah,
go ahead.
Why not? I think this is kind of a no-brainer for both of us.
Is it though?
Well, we'll find out, won't we? Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, one of the greatest words ever invented.
Oh my god, it's so good.
If you haven't played Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, you definitely have not played the best action game of this year. Hands down, just Platinum just nailed it again. Saved a game that was in development hell. It still feels like it's still got all those Metal Gear tropes that you wouldn't necessarily expect in an action game. Like you can sit back and listen to a whole bunch of codec conversations.
It's so far removed from what we know as a Metal Gear game, yet it still feels Metal Gear.
It's firmly planted in the Metal Gear universe. I mean, with Raiden, what do you expect? Come on, you get in there and you get it done.
Yeah.
I've played through it twice. I'm on a third playthrough. It's just been a blast. The soundtrack's fantastic. It's 60 frames per second.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like...
I'm assuming this is your pick.
Well, I mean, I thought it was a really strong year for... I mean, DMC, I thought was an awesome reboot.
Yeah.
For all the shit it got. I thought it was excellent.
Well, it had
the best setting and stage design of an action game this year. Easily. I mean, some of the stages it has is fantastic.
Like, I've only played the first level.
And the gameplay is great.
Yeah.
Like, it's so good.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I really, really hope they make a sequel to DMC. I do. And I want to go back and play it. It's a gorgeous game, too. Like, visually, it's awesome. Stunning. But yeah, I'm game to go with Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. Honestly, probably my surprising game of the year. My biggest surprise. It is the most fun I've had playing a video game in I don't know how long.
I felt the same way when I was going through that game. It was just like, this game is so fun to play.
Fighting a Metal Gear Ray one-on-one and dicing it up and like that, the Zendetsu mechanic, it never gets old.
No.
I mean, I felt like I was playing an anime sometimes. And it's just fantastic.
Yeah, I would say the only negative that I have for that game, a little bit, the camera and the stick waggling. There's a bit of stick waggling.
Yeah, I mean, some of the enemies, sure.
Yeah, but other than that, that's like really...
But the camera, but we want to talk about extremely deep gameplay and combat. Like, some people complain about, blocking. Listen, babies, start learning how to play a game and mastering the mechanic. The parry system, once you master it, you could go through levels invincible. You won't even get hit.
Yeah.
I'm using the invincible frames that parries give you to link infinitely the blade mechanic. You just cut everything up.
The game is a lot deeper than it appears to be.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And I mean, if you just played through it once, that's not what this game's for.
Yeah.
Like,
you gotta remember, these are the guys that made Bayonetta.
Yeah.
And
Vanquish and all this stuff.
Which actually, I started playing a little bit of Vanquish again.
Oh, so good.
Platinum Games, probably my favorite new developer from this generation.
Yeah. I mean, and the soundtrack. I just think Metal Gear Rising it's one of my top 5 games of the year. It's that good.
I would say it's
that much. I mean, in the end, what's it about? Having a lot of fun playing. And I had the most fun this year probably playing Metal Gear Rising, Revengeance, and I never thought last year. I never thought I'd say that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I still get shivers here at that opening, and then the eye flashes is so epic.
Yeah.
Oh, the game is so fucking tidy. Let's move on.
Alrighty.
Fighting.
Yes.
You want me to go first?
You go ahead.
The beloved genre of fighting games.
Yes.
Near and dear to our hearts. I'll just make this one quick. It's Injustice for me. Injustice Gods Among Us, which again, I didn't think I'd say this last year because I'm not a huge fan of NetherRealm Studios' Mortal Kombat.
The mechanic,
and I was afraid, although I respect what the game does, I'm not a fan of block buttons at all.
Right.
And DC, I thought they'd use that gimmick and it wouldn't be a very good fighting game. Well, I think Injustice has taught a lot of lessons to a lot of people that make fighting games on, implementing a worthwhile story.
Yeah.
I mean, is it essential? Yes, they did. But is it essential? No. But I mean, I'm buying a game that's $60. I want a single player experience. How hard it can work.
Yep.
And this worked.
They've proven that it can be.
I mean, yes, it had a lot of DLC, but yes, there was a lot of stuff to unlock in there too.
Yeah.
I didn't feel ripped off. I didn't.
Well, I will say that was one of the things that bothered me was that the amount. When you add up the DLC, it actually...
Sure, but you didn't buy it, so it doesn't matter.
But that's not my point. The point is that the DLC actually exceeds the cost of the main game.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a business, and as long... I understand what you're saying, but I also side with them because they gave enough in the package. I had a bigger problem with Street Fighter.
The game was loaded.
I had a bigger problem with Street Fighter selling costumes when there's nothing to unlock.
Yeah.
Like, that's a problem for me.
I actually preferred vanilla Street Fighter 4 when you had to unlock characters rather than having everybody available from the start. From the perspective of you have to play the game.
I don't want characters locked behind something, but cool costumes and stuff.
Well,
maybe that take place in the story.
Yeah.
But let's keep it on point. I mean, and the background interaction from Injustice is excellent. It's a really fun game to play.
Yeah.
Each character has an individual trait and it's a lot of fun. Stage transitions, all this. I mean, it's not doing anything new per se because you've been in Dead or Alive and things like that.
Dead or Alive has stage
transitions, but I think it's a fantastic fighting game.
It does it in its own way.
And I've seen, although I haven't played Killer Instinct, I've seen it played a lot, and it does nothing for me. I think the moves. It looks gorgeous. It looks like to look at it.
It definitely does.
It looks gorgeous, but I mean, the combos aren't exciting. The super moves aren't exciting.
I actually don't consider it a game for 2013.
No one.
It doesn't even have a story mode yet.
No, I know.
That comes later.
It's just a bare bones offering.
Exactly.
A lot of people are pushing it to play it in the fighting game community, and the more games, the better.
Well, sure.
But I don't think it's better than any of the mainstays out there.
No.
But Injustice is
But Killer Instinct is it's got a cult following, just like any other.
Sure, and people wanted it to succeed.
Yeah.
But I mean, what has it got? 8 characters?
6.
Yeah, like, come on.
Anyway, Injustice was my honorable mention.
Mm-hmm.
I'm having a harder time with it, getting into it than
you're sort of giving up on it
a little bit. I wasn't enjoying it as much as you were, and a lot of that has to do with the mechanics.
I guess your unwillingness to pick a different character.
Well, you know what?
To learn the fundamentals with some of the easier characters and then branch out.
Yeah, I just I was having a hard time latching onto that one. But I do recognize that it is a well-crafted game and it's got a ton of content. Mm-hmm. I don't argue that. I just didn't think that the cost of the DLC, when you add it all up, that was kind of like, ugh. Anyway, I don't want to get into that again.
It's too bad you're out of rum. I went through this so quick.
I didn't realize it was that low. But my pick for fighter is actually DOA 5 Ultimate. Boobies! Despite its titillating exterior, there's a really fun fighting experience in there. Has a lot of the, when you talk about stage transitions, things like that. They put a lot of the cool new features into...
And transitional boobies.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm chewing ice.
Yeah. The boobs are looking good, I'm not going to deny. But because I had more fun with DOA, that's definitely going to be my pick.
Now, did you have more fun with it because I wasn't there to kick your ass, or was it I don't know.
I just generally have more fun playing DOA than Injustice. I just, you know
I'm
what?
just bugging you.
I wanted to like the game more, but I didn't have I wasn't sitting there going, I want to play Injustice. That wasn't happening to me.
I wish you were. Maybe you pick up another character like Batman, and
I think I'm gonna
have a
try
little more
another
success,
character.
and it's easier to do things.
Part of the reason I shy away from characters like that is because I feel like I don't want to pick the super popular character all the time. You know what I mean?
I don't pick the super popular characters.
No, you don't.
But I don't know.
Yeah, whatever.
That's fighting.
Anyway, let's move right along.
FPSs. Shooters. Not shooters. No, not shooters. First person shooters. That's right.
Because we know what a
shooters
shooter
are
is.
shooters.
We know
You're not gonna hijack my fucking genre, man.
That's it. Around here, it's an FPS.
Yes. It's not a shooter.
Anyway,
FPS.
because this is going to be an easy one for me because
You didn't do shooters last year. Or, shit.
I gave it to
Punch
Halo.
me in the face.
Yeah.
We didn't do first person shooters last night. Last year.
Are you sure?
No, I think we glossed over it.
Did I not give Halo?
I know you gave that your 360 game of the year.
Maybe that's what I did.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to make this easy for me anyway because I don't have an honorable mention.
Okay.
Bioshock Infinite is by far my first-person shooter of the year.
Okay.
Game speaks for itself.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't attribute narratives in first-person shooters, but I mean, I don't know how else to put Bioshock in but as a first-person shooter because that's what it is.
And, you know, I'm not going to knock Call of Duty or Battlefield or Killzone or any of these other first-person shooters that you guys may like. I just haven't played them, so it's not fair of me to judge. I know that these games have some great features and yin-yang and whatever, but for me it's Bioshock by far.
Yeah, and I'm going to go with Bioshock Infinite as well. I'm not going to beat around the bush here, per se, kids. I'm going to go with Bioshock Infinite. And, I mean, if we're talking about the combat, now, a lot of people thought that the combat might have been out of place. And I'm not going to argue that either way. But the combat, as such, is a lot deeper than some people give it credit for. I got to the point where I could play my guy as a shotgun-wielding charge character a la a Vanguard in Mass Effect.
Right.
And it extremely successful. So there's so many different ways to play with powers
Once
as well
you start
as
doing
shooting.
the combinations and stuff like
if
that.
you really key, I mean, you could sit back and use your chain lightning and,
I'm
and
sure
do
you
different
could settle
things.
into something that's comfortable and just keep abusing that.
But I took that through on 1999 mode in my platinum run. So don't tell me there's not depth there to the combat. There is a lot of depth there with the vigors and things just like that. I mean, first-person shooter doesn't have to solely deal with the combat as well. And there was no better narrative in a first-person shooter this year than Bioshock Infinite.
Well, absolutely. Well, I didn't have a multiplayer component to bog it down.
No, and an honorable mention I will give to... I have jumped into Battlefield 4 briefly, and it's very good when it works.
Yes.
On the multi... But I'll give it to Killzone Shadowfall, which... The single player isn't amazing. It's above average. I think so. But my God, is it gorgeous. It's that good looking and it runs that well. So, and the multiplayer is really, really, really good. It's really, really fun. The maps are cool. All the guns have different. I've played it quite a bit. I played it more in Battlefield.
Oh, okay.
And I've enjoyed it. So that's my honorable mention.
All right.
Killzone Shadowfall. I think it's a fantastic. It was. Let me just say, I've never played a Killzone game since, other than Shadowfall.
Okay.
And now I'm hunting down the other Killzone games to play through the campaigns.
Okay. Fair enough.
I borrowed Killzone 3 recently. Now I got to go get Killzone 2.
Sure.
Just to play. I actually kind of like the dynamic of the story there.
Okay.
And I felt like I missed out on a lot.
Well, hey, if the story is compelling enough to make you play it, then that's saying something too, though.
Yeah, I'm not trying to tell you that Killzone Shadowfall had a great campaign, but it was good enough for me.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Adventure game of the year.
Adventure game of the year.
Here we go. We're adventuring because that's what we do in 2013. We're adventuring. Dogma's taking the notepad.
This one I had to put a couple of honorable mentions down because.
What? A travesty, I say. A travesty, I say.
That's impossible! Only because this is a pretty crowded genre.
Yeah, you can see that again.
So for me, my honorable mentions are going to be Tomb Raider, because despite the fact that it didn't leave a lasting taste in my mouth, I can't deny that it was a good playing.
It's a great adventure game.
So got to put that on there. And I've only just started GTA, but I'm going to include it in my adventure game category.
I suppose. I mean, yeah, adventure game.
And it's been a blast so far, but I'm only a few hours in. So, and I mean, I realize that this is a great game already. So but you want to talk about complexity in games? This game's got a lot of stuff in it to learn, as far as like, all your contacts. You get emails, you get texts, you have. I'm just getting started. I mean, you got all these different activities you can take part in, and
there's a whole world you haven't explored yet.
It's huge. It
could be something that you didn't even know about.
I've probably uncovered like 10% of the map. So, but yeah, I'm gonna give my award to The Last of Us, because that game definitely left a lasting impression on me.
No pun intended.
I'd be at work. I'd be like, what's happening to Joel? Certain story points. I couldn't wait to get the controller back in my hand so I could, pick up the story. That game has so much well-crafted mood, characters, music, everything really came together. So yeah, that's my action game of the year.
Adventure.
Well, adventure game of the year.
We did action game.
We did action game.
It's okay.
Yes.
You were lost in the Last of Us memory.
A slip of the tongue.
Ellie. Go on now, Ellie. Is that good? I don't know.
Fuck Joel.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Adventure games. Again, Tomb Raider fits into this really, really nicely as an honorable mention. I'm trying to remember what else I played. I only wrote down my winner here, but I haven't thought. There's a lot of good games that fit in that. But yeah, adventure game. I got to go with The Last of Us as well. It's just a wonderful game, an uncompromising vision and world and feeling and everything that goes along with it. Naughty Dog's just masters at what they do, and I'm not trying to heap praise on them but they're getting better at what they do, and visually it's a gorgeous game, and I do want to play it again. I really do.
Yeah, I don't actually have a copy of it.
I've heard complaints against the gameplay, but I love the gameplay. Yeah. And I think they're missing the point, and they're missing something there.
Well, I've heard some people complain about some of the aiming and stuff like that, and it's like some of that is intentional.
But I believe it's intentional, and I believe they would tell you that it's intentional. It's to outline. We talked about this at length.
We talked this
before. I mean, it's to outline that feeling of tension.
Yeah.
Reinforce it if you want.
The fact that Joel
is not a soldier.
Yeah.
He's just they refer to him as the madman. He's just an angry guy who's made. He's had to kill.
He's a survivor.
He's taught himself how to shoot.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't be great shooters. We wouldn't if this happened to us, and that's how it goes.
Yeah, I
love the little crafting on the real time crafting was really cool.
Yeah,
I don't know how people could say they hated the gameplay. That's mind boggling to me. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, there's even people saying if you're scared of these types of games, as far as survival horror or what have you, it's worth it just to grit your teeth and get through it regardless because of how good it is.
Yeah, I think The Last of Us is a game that every gamer should play, but I don't know, that's up to them.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely wins adventure category for me. Boom. And the soundtrack was very appropriate, and I still think about that game time to time and what they did with the story and how it ended.
Well, the ending was very polarizing depending on how you want to look at it.
Yeah.
Certainly made you think.
Mm-hmm. I still think it's the best review I've written for a game. I love writing. I feel like the content of the game brought the best out of me in order to. The game wasn't just another game, so I felt I had to bring something else to the table.
And that's a good way to put it. This was not just another game. This was something special.
Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, this is going to be awesome. Soundtrack of the year.
Oh, jeez.
And you're going to have a lot of fun in the editing process.
Oh, God.
We love this
Honestly,
category.
I'm not even going to worry about,
We love this category every year.
This was probably well, we talked a little bit about this already. This is tough because this year music was a little different in games because not every game soundtrack was necessarily a melodious soundtrack. Some games have soundtracks that are just creating atmosphere and mood, and
they can be just as effective.
Exactly. And when you're playing a game, that's what you need.
I love video game music.
Yeah,
I've had. I think we talked about this in a recent episode too, and if we haven't, I've talked about it with you.
Yep.
I recently had like a renaissance of rediscovering certain game music. Sorry to hijack what you're talking about, but you can listen to gaming music outside of a game and be fulfilled, even if sometimes you haven't played it.
Yeah, absolutely. If it's good music, it's good music, regardless of where it came from. My dad...
They're doing so many things with the gaming music medium.
Yeah. I had a little laugh with my dad recently because I left a bunch of cassettes at my parents' place, and, he pulled one out and... didn't really look at it to see what was on it, popped it in, and all of a sudden there's old 16-bit game music on it.
Oh yeah? So you can vibe with that stuff, man.
Yeah, man. Old Sega Genesis stuff that I recorded with, is it Sword of Vermilion?
Yes, fantastic.
Anyway, this was a hard one. I don't have one honorable mention here again because there was just some really good stuff that needs to be mentioned. So honorable mentions for me, Bioshock. So many cool things in that soundtrack.
Yeah, I mean, there was... I like what they did with the... Now I'm stealing from a recent gaming podcast I listened to. But they had a lot of... they took licensed music, but did different slants.
Well, sure. They did these 20s versions of 80s pop tunes and stuff like that.
And also the... when you crash down and... they redo the Cyndi Lauper Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
On the beach there.
Which is fantastic. And that didn't even dawn on a lot of people.
No, I didn't notice it.
And it really typifies the moment and what's going on with Elizabeth at that time. And it's those subtle hints to world crafting, and that gaming music amplifies a moment. It's all that stuff coming together to create a feeling.
Well, and then the battle music was reactionary to what was happening. If you got a headshot, you get accents and things like that. So, it was just very well crafted. GTA 5 has some really great music.
Tangerine Dream.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone looks at... I think past games, a lot of people looked at
the
GTAs as the licensed music. But I think more people... this time around are looking at it as the original music as the standout.
I think this is the first game that they have had a fully original score to in this, and
maybe
I heard that on another site anyway. That's so.
Well, I know they created original licensed music, but I don't know.
Well, apparently there's 3 discs to the soundtrack.
Okay.
There's the original music, which is bands making songs for the game.
Yeah.
And then there's the score, which is the Tangerine Dream stuff, among DJ Shadows in there and some other stuff, all working together. And then there's the licensed music score, which is the stuff that plays on the radio and all that kind of stuff, right? But just really cool, very moody, kind of reminiscent of 80s gangster movies or something like Heat. So that's really cool. Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance had definitely one of the most standout scores of the year. Just rocks.
Oh yeah, that boss music.
Yeah, I mean,
unforgettable stuff.
Yeah, again, this music has layers to it as well, depending on what point in the battle you're at. These kinds of things. It just gets more and more intense as the boss battles go on. The level music has different versions depending on your alert status and all that kind of thing, which is something Metal Gear's done in the past. But just an exceptionally well crafted score there. Tomb Raider, I want to mention because. It had one of those more different scores. Jason Graves using they had an
tribal at times.
Well, yeah, but they actually had a unique instrument created for the soundtrack of this game, which is, I mean, I've seen this thing and it's wacky. It's got all these wires, poles and stuff hanging out of it, and it just makes all these really strange metallic sounds and things. So again, that is a score that stands out for being a great mood creator.
We're gonna tell you what, you're creating the mood right now.
But yes, the soundtrack is going to go to the same game I gave my last award to, and that's The Last of Us. Just it really resonated with me, and I'm using that word a lot.
I love the Last of Us theme.
The theme itself, the main theme, is fantastic. It really sets the tone for the game overall. But what I really liked was the minimalist approach to it, because you're in these dire straits, and it just fit really well with that. And some of the themes for the characters and the environments you're in just really, really works for that game. It's the full package, that game.
Yep.
So
The Last of Us is your choice.
that is mine.
Yeah, The Last of Us is definitely up there for me. I believe it's not going to win for me because, although the minimalistic approach is extremely effective, it didn't quite do enough. It wasn't a standout in that game. It was a perfect complement.
Right.
Personally, just for me. Yeah, rather than just rehash what you said, my choice is Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. It's so fucking rad. Like, it is so good. I mean, from the opening title that I did a piss poor job.
It's got kind of that,
and I even have to mimic with the sword like thing, and then the.
It's like, got that little bit of that Hans Zimmer kind of.
God, it's like it sends shivers up my spine. And there's the boss. Like, a lot of times, you try to add those lyrics, it gets corny and stuff. But it works in this game so well. Like, the boss, I love what's her name? The first boss there.
Oh, right,
not Monsoon.
No, oh shoot, what's her name now?
I can't think of it. The multiple arms.
Yeah.
Anyway, her boss music, that's my favorite track in the game.
Cool.
It is so good. Like, the... something that I remain.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
I'll get that in there.
It's so good. Yeah, sorry. Forgive me. I just get passionate and I gotta do it. Even if it's just
air guitar.
Yeah, I was playing air guitar. But yeah, that's my winner. It's really, really good. I mean, honorable mention, you didn't mention Ni no Kuni had a really good
oh yeah, and I should have
score too. Joe Musashi or
Hishashi?
He's Mizashi. I don't know what the hell it is.
Sorry. Pronunciation.
Yeah.
Sorry, but yeah, fully orchestrated score, like and like it sounds the way an orchestra should sound.
I will say they used. There's not a lot of music in that game.
No, they
as much as you'd think. They do reuse a lot of themes in it.
But the music itself is so good.
Yeah. So yeah, there's our winners.
Awesome.
We're going to. Let's save this one. Digital release of the year.
Sure.
Are you gonna be able to do this one?
I don't know. I really struggle with
I added this in, so you didn't make any notes.
I didn't really. It's hard for me because I didn't play enough of the games that I would consider to be nomination worthy.
Okay.
I haven't played Brothers yet, which is probably very likely to be on this list. I only just downloaded DuckTales Remastered. And I know there was some other stuff that came out in the summertime on Xbox Live and throughout the year on PSN, but
you want me to just run with it?
You just go take this one.
Okay. Yeah, because I know you didn't play too many of these this year. And I know we said last year we weren't going to really separate them anymore, but I think it's still its own thing.
Yeah.
There was a lot of really great digital releases this year. Telltale recently, the first episode of The Wolf Among Us,
right,
which goes on the Fables thing, which is really, really good. Season 2 of Walking Dead just started. Episode 1, and I loved it. It was really, really good. You gotta play these games.
I know, I gotta
play them.
I got so many on my list, man. Walking Dead is like a year old, and I still haven't played it.
They're quick to go through. Yeah. Just sit down, and it's a really, really good story.
Yeah.
And the characters get even better. So yeah, and I don't want to spoil either of these for you, so I won't talk about it in too much depth. Then there's Brothers, which I haven't played yet, but I know it tries to, like, each analog stick is one of the brothers.
Oh, right.
And it's got its own innovative control scheme. It's going to be free next month, so I'm waiting. I knew it was going to be free, and yes, I sound cheap because I didn't support them with my dollars, but I knew this game was eventually going to be free.
Yeah.
So, and sure enough, it is next month. And then there's Gone Home, which also I haven't played, but I'm also waiting for it to come.
Exactly, and yeah, there's a few of these games that, like, maybe are PC releases, and stuff like that.
Yes,
too.
well, I mean, yeah,
Steam.
these are all on PC, multiple platforms. Yeah, but they're still digital releases. My choice for digital release is Revengeance.
Oh, right.
It's just a fucking awesome game. Like, and this is a shooter through and through. And I haven't loved Housemarque's previous shooter offerings, like Super Stardust. I don't like the spherical approach of the way the game plays. I prefer my shooters up and down. Up and down or around, Happy. Yes. You know, Happy Gilmore. Anyway, horizontal or vertical. And Revengeance, although you go in a circle, technically, you are going just horizontal.
Right.
But each of these games, like it has its own. Yes, it's to shoot all the things and don't get hit. But you know, it has its own game mechanics, and it's just so fucking cool. Like,
well,
the game is
from the past and remixes it for a future generation.
Who would have thought, honestly, the best next gen launch game would be like a technically free digital game,
a little independent, free game. Yeah,
like Revengeance is that good, and when you finish the boss and the Armageddon, you witnessed it.
Oh yeah,
Armageddon. Your controller talks to you, and the world just blows up, and all those particles. And, and like the world just falls apart. It's pretty awesome.
I've gone to particle heaven.
Yeah, it's a great game. So that's my choice.
All right.
DLC of the year.
DLC of the year. Well, I never ended up settling on one. There's some good stuff come out. Do you
want me to give you a chance to think about it?
The Jetstream Sam DLC was pretty fun.
It was the better of the two.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what other DLC.
Because Jetstream Sam, it gave you a chance to control him, and he was such a really good character.
I'm trying to think of what other DLC packs that I downloaded, like expansion packs I downloaded that were from this year. And I can't really think of any.
Okay, well, I'll go. And you think?
My best DLC of the year might be the Mark of the Ninja Director's Cut.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't played that. Yeah. I didn't even know there was one.
Well, I got Mark of the Ninja last year. Yeah. And this summer they released a update for it that was like $5 or I think I got it for $2.50.
Well, it's a great choice. And Mark of the Ninjas could be last year's best game.
Yeah, and it gave you a prequel chapter. And it adds commentary to all the levels that you can turn on and off.
Oh, very cool.
A bunch of new notes, like basically liner notes for all the different levels and everything. So, yeah, you know what? I'm going to use that because it's such a cool game. And I was playing a little bit earlier.
It's a phenomenal game.
And I can't think of an awful lot of DLC that I did download this year as far as like episodic or anything like that. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Mark of the Ninja content because it's...
That's a good choice. I didn't even know about that.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I still haven't finished it, you know. I don't know why.
Fantastic game.
Yeah, I have it on Steam.
So. It looks so good on my new TV.
Yeah. So yeah, I played quite a bit of DLC this year. You haven't played DMC yet, but I really enjoyed Vergil's Downfall.
Right.
I love the character of Vergil, and although I feel he was one of the disappointments of the new reboot, they didn't quite do justice to Vergil in the game proper.
Right.
But the DLC starts to show and reimagine him, and he gains more power. So, and it allows you to choose. It's more DMC with, and the gameplay is entirely different. It's actually a shame that the character's only limited to that DLC because there's so much gameplay to explore.
Right.
That by the time you really get a hold of it and you're having so much fun with the way this guy controls, it's all over.
Right.
Yeah, you wish there was more of it, and that's why I can't wait for a sequel. I hope they get to work on one where you could control them both. Then there was the Burial at Sea from Bioshock Infinite,
which I would probably put on here, but because I haven't played it yet, can't do it.
I loved it. You return to the original Bioshock's world, but it's different.
Yeah.
And it's just really the first part. I'm anxious to see where it goes in the next part.
I almost would rather judge it as a whole package.
Yeah, a total thing.
Yeah.
Dishonored DLC, the 2 packs. I don't know if the first one came out
this year,
but the last one definitely did. The Brigmore Witches.
Right.
But either way, both of them were in retrospect, I played Dishonored this year. But in retrospect, I think I might have gave Dishonored my game of the year over Journey last year. And like, that's not taking anything away from Journey, but I think Dishonored was that good. I absolutely loved it.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved the DLC in it, and it gives you a completely different perspective. because it puts you in the shoes of another character and it fills in the blanks of some of the main story stuff.
That's cool.
It goes hand in hand.
So it ties things up
Yeah,
pretty good. And
the game's just a blast to play. But I'm gonna give it to Mass Effect 3 Citadel.
Which I haven't played yet.
I can't believe you haven't played that.
I thought it would go on sale this week.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you don't get it free from me. That's right, because you don't have it. For
I own one of my Mass Effect DLC at full price.
Xbox. Yeah.
Yeah. So usually they put the Mass Effect DLC on sale during Christmas. So maybe it'll be one of the single day sales.
Fair enough. We'll still wait for that sale, cheapskate.
Well, because I've got to get the Omega DLC still too.
If you only get one, get Citadel.
Well,
but I mean, although I have qualms with the way it's implemented, like I still don't think it suits where it is.
Yeah.
And that's not the point. It's on its own, it's great. Where it fits in with the Mass Effect 3 story, it still doesn't sit, like I said, but it's a lot of fun, and it does everything that Mass Effect 2 was so great at. Your characters and the fun and it just has a great camaraderie aspect to it.
You almost have to consider it separate from the
I
main
do
game.
try to consider it separate, because the Mass Effect 3 still has a sour taste in my mouth. It does. But Citadel is a great entry in and of itself. And it's a huge DLC. There's tons to it. So, yeah, that's my choice.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was a good year for DLC.
Yeah, actually it was.
It was a good year.
It was a very good year.
A vintage year.
When I was 38, it was a very good year.
And on the singing note, most disappointing.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. Well, I'm going to just cut to the chase. Well, yeah, I mean... is there an honorable mention for most disappointing?
Sure. Honorably disappointing.
Like, I played Aliens, Colonial Marines. We played about, I don't know, the first couple chapters or so.
I think this game would be on a lot of people's lists.
I played for a few hours with Kirk one afternoon, and it was a struggle.
Yeah.
It was a struggle. I mean, nostalgia just can't save that game. So,
yeah, a lot of people had high hopes for it.
But I'm going to give my most disappointing award to Dragon's Crown. Because despite how pretty that game is, doesn't have an awful lot of depth, and it gets very repetitive very quickly. Mm-hmm. So short and sweet.
Yeah. Okay. Mine's a tie. It honestly is, and it is Dragon's Crown. Only because I championed that game for the last 2 years, and I really thought it was going to be that new age gauntlet multiplayer aspect game that I craved, and I love Vanillaware. I love everything they do. I love their games.
Yeah.
But you can tell this is a game that was in development hell for a long time. Stopped, restarted, changed publishers. It's been in development a really long time. And the dungeons are you quickly realize that it lacks content. It lacks enemy variety. It lacks length of dungeons and variety that way. And
dungeons themselves, I think, are decent length, but there aren't enough of them.
See, I didn't think they were long enough. I wanted longer dungeon excursions. I don't want them as long as, say, a Diablo 3 romp through a dungeon, but I want more, there. I didn't really have any problems with the way characters were, and the selection of characters were okay, and I didn't mind. The game played... I don't know, it was a little off. It's hard for me to put into words exactly what it was, but the way the characters were and the way they moved, it was kind of hard to discern sometimes.
Well, and especially like when there was a lot of crap going on.
Yeah.
I found that when there was more than one of the same character type in the party, it got really hard.
Yeah.
Especially if
I think they could have made the character models smaller. I think they were too big.
Really?
Yeah.
I liked that they were bigger, but
well, yeah, but you get 4 enemies on the screen, and it's too chaotic. A little bit smaller, a little more room to do some more stuff, but that's not the game's problem. It just lacked a lot of content, and it was disappointing to me because I had high hopes for this game.
Yeah.
It sold really well though, and I have high hopes for the formula for success is there.
Right.
So I have high hopes for the inevitable sequel. Because again, this game did sell really, really well.
Okay.
And my other one is Ni no Kuni. That was a big disappointment for me, following up on our stuff earlier. I think the game started off with a lot of heart, but there wasn't a lot of depth to the story or the characters. They quickly got one-dimensional for me, and the detail became very juvenile. I don't mind younger based stories in there.
Yeah, like a family friendly story.
I don't like. I enjoy Kingdom Hearts, and I have no problem with that. The characters are very one toned. And honestly, you love Drippy, and he was kind of funny for a little bit, but then he got on my fucking nerves really fast. I wish there was a way to mute him.
Oh shit.
I thought the combat was a mess. I really do, and I'm sorry. Combat is
beating the game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you did beat it.
I did. I did more stuff than you did in the game.
Did you?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yep. I have like 50% of the trophies. I think you only had like 35%.
Oh, all right. Well, there's some endgame stuff I haven't done yet.
And I finished it, and like the narrative falls apart after Shadar. It just does. I mean, it's called The Wrath of the White Witch, but the title doesn't really go hand in hand with the way the story is. I mean, they just sort of throw all that stuff in at the end, and I don't know. And I know the whole combat. It would have worked far better as a turn-based battle system, in my eyes.
Well, I will say, like, it wasn't my favorite battle system of an RPG I've played, but I mean, I didn't have any major problems
when
with
they're
it.
they taught you a new combat aspect like 10 hours into the game.
Yeah.
Like, I forget exactly what it was, but it was still like keeping you on rails. Tutorial sort of quote unquote.
Yeah.
Multiple hours in the game.
Some of that was story based though.
Well, no, this one thing you learn that is actually integral to combat. It would have came in handy much earlier.
Right.
If they would have told you about it. I think the game visually and presentation wise is great, but once you strip that away, I think it's a very average RPG.
Yeah. Huh?
So while the game is still pretty good, it's disappointing because of the pedigree I think that it carried with it. To me. Anyway. Which brings us to the
grand finale.
The end, my friend. Game of the year. We're not going to do console specific games of the year this year. We're just going to roll Game of the Year. Because we can only judge what we played, and I think there's a lot of nominees out there that other people are talking about that unfortunately I just haven't played. Yeah. I haven't played the Nintendo games, and I have no doubt that they're good.
I'm sure that the Zelda game is fan-freaking-tastic.
I have no doubt that Super Mario 3D World is great too.
Yep. But I don't have a Wii U, and I don't have a 3DS. Mm-hmm. So, my game of the year...
Give us the 3. Give us 3.
3?
And then, give us the top. Well, that's what we did last year, so...
Well, now you're putting me on the spot.
Well, it's got to be... I mean, there's a lot of really good games.
It's my top 3 in the 3 and 2 are not in particular order. Metal Gear Rising Revengeance and Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen.
Wow.
And my game of the year is The Last of Us.
Yep.
Because those other 2 games are the other 2 games that I had the most fun with this year. Yeah. I'm basing those choices on fun factor.
Mm-hmm. So. And let's face it, The Last of Us, the point isn't to be fun. It's not supposed to be fun. That doesn't mean it's a bad game to play. It's actually a great game to play.
And it is fun, but it's also...
It's a different type. It's not pure joy.
Your mind is not in the same place as it would be if you were playing Mario or something.
Yeah, that's right. And the world is supposed to give you that feeling. And everything that the game does is to convey a certain type of feeling.
You feel uneasy. That's right. And as characters are doing certain things, you're like, whoa, really? Certain story aspects. We're gonna steer away from spoilers. I'm
really surprised we didn't do a spoiler cast for The Last of Us. You know that?
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of past now, but yeah. I can't believe we didn't do that. I think timing wise, I
think that's how it worked.
We were sort of on hiatus there. But anyway.
But yeah, we've already talked about this game a little bit already. But so. What else do we talk? What else do we say? I mean, it was a fantastic game.
What did it for you over the other ones?
Well, I guess because it's just the intensity of the storytelling. Like I said, like when I was saying earlier, I'd be at work going, "Oh my god, like I can't wait to start playing this some more so I can find out what's going to happen in the story." It definitely had that, and Bioshock to me had the best stories of the year. Bioshock had the best ending to me. But Last of Us had the best overall story. And I don't know, there's times in that game where I do something in a combat scenario that made me go, I just did that. That was pretty freaking cool.
Yeah.
You know, you got a room full of enemies and you do 2 things and they're all gone. And it's like, yeah, I felt pretty cool doing that. And, you know, just little moments. There's all kinds of moments in that game scattered throughout it. Whether it's the subtle spoken moments between Joel and Ellie when you just happen to see something.
Book.
Yeah, the joke book, which I haven't even heard half of that stuff. The giraffe moment, the you know, like just when it goes to you controlling Ellie and the elements that
There's a lot of game there too.
Yeah, and I mean, I played through it in a week, but that was a pretty intense week. I'll tell you that. I played with the lights off a lot of the time and just got really immersed. So, yeah, I would say that's definitely the game I got most immersed in this year.
So Last of Us is your choice. Me. Yeah, I had a tough time deciding, honestly, because I enjoyed a lot of games this year.
Yep.
A game that won't be in my top 3 is a game like Guacamelee, which I loved. It's a great game. Great little Metroidvania. I hate that word, but I don't really know how to describe it offhand.
For lack of another term.
You know, it doesn't do anything particularly well, but it controls awesome. And the little the little combat system that's there, and the way you combo wrestling moves, it's great. It's very old school in its approach, but streamlines it in a new school way that doesn't the other one tedious. I love that game. Seriously, I did, and you haven't played it.
I haven't played it yet. I just haven't gotten around to it.
I wish you did. Play it.
I haven't even played Unfinished Swan yet.
Play Guacamelee first.
Yeah.
Guacamelee, it's a lot of fun to play. Yeah. And those boys.
Well, they're Toronto based, right?
Yeah, Drinkbox Studios, right in Toronto. So big ups to them. Yeah, DMC was a great game. Tomb Raider, great game, won't make it. I know. I'll narrow it down. Yeah, okay, so in no order, it'd be Bioshock Infinite, The Last of Us, and I struggle with this third one. I really do. It's Injustice or Metal Gear Rising. I'll go with Metal Gear Rising right now. Those are probably my top 3 games of the year. And you ask me tomorrow, I might have a different answer between honestly, like for the entire year, I honestly thought Bioshock Infinite was my game of the year.
Well, you might be surprised that I didn't put that on my list either. And it's certainly not, that's actually my second pick for game of the year. But I listed those other 2 games because those were the most fun games that I played this year.
I understand. And this is even after I finished The Last of Us. I still thought Bioshock Infinite was my game of the year, but the more time I've spent away and the more I've thought about The Last of Us and what it did, it's really crept back into that discussion. And they do different things. I really liked Infinite, but I was a little disappointed with, you see what that game could have been.
Yeah.
In a pure game. The narrative, I actually think has the best ending. I loved it. I love the theme.
I think that ending is, and I've said this before,
and I love the world.
Could be the best ending of all time.
I love the world, but there's a lot more potential to do more with it. Whereas I look at The Last of Us, and the world is, the game is designed to not make you feel very good about it. You're supposed to feel bleak and hopeless time, and it does so much to reinforce that idea with the characters and the hopelessness. And today, you asked me, I think I had to give it to The Last of Us. I've seen people say, it's just a movie type game. You know what, guys? You need to start growing up and playing these games for what they are.
You missed the point.
Yeah, you're missing the point here. It's a fantastically crafted games, and if more people created games like Naughty Dog did, our pastime would be much better. I'm not saying everything has to be a heavy-duty narrative game and work within a theme, but it does so much. It brings the medium forward. It really does. Whether it's from a third-person action perspective in combat and a narrative, the voice acting, everything wraps together. And it actually surprisingly had a really decent multiplayer as well. Which, I didn't dive too much in, but a lot of people had a lot of fun with it.
Yep.
It's not like Tomb Raiders, which is garbage and it's tacked on.
Yeah.
Well, Last of Us is kind of tacked on, but it works within the narrative, I guess.
Yeah, and I think less tacked on than Tomb Raider.
Yeah, again, you could ask me tomorrow and I might tell you I probably liked Elizabeth a little bit better than Ellie. I thought she was a little bit better character.
Sure, and I might agree with you there.
Yeah.
And that's why I say those two games are like kind of hand in hand.
Mm-hmm. But I like Joel better than Booker. I love the character of Joel because he's neither good or bad. He's just a man that has to make some really tough decisions in a really shitty world.
Yeah. A survivor.
Yeah, and that's what it is. So yeah, it's gonna be The Last of Us right now.
Okay.
And that's it. What do you guys think of our awards? They suck? They good?
Yeah.
What are your choices? Do we leave stuff off? I mean, again, we didn't play everything.
We didn't even talk about multiplayer games, but...
No, we didn't, actually. Yeah, that was a category left off, but we're not going to have time for it. Again, there's some games we didn't play that are on other people's lists.
Well, stuff that we, we can't play everything. We're only two guys, right? So, and we play a lot of the same things, too. So, yeah, we can't cover everything. We cover what we can.
Yeah. So... a somber Grizzled Veterans.
Yes.
Perhaps the 2013.
As we say goodbye to 2013 and look forward to the next generation.
Yeah, I think we'll hold our thoughts for 2014 for a later episode. Hopefully we can get together.
Well, we'll do our January one will be what we're looking forward to and resolutions and all that kind of
stuff. There's a lot of games coming out early and quick.
Yeah.
Both current gen and next gen. I will say though, we said before, the games I'm most looking forward to right now
are current gen
games.
Yeah. And they both come out early in the year.
Yeah. And Final Fantasy X Remaster, Persona 5 by the end of the year.
Yep.
These are all games that are current gen games that are going to be just as good as anything. But all the next gen's really going to hit its stride in 2014. I'm incredibly excited to see what happens. I mean,
holiday 2014 is going to be...
Titanfall and Infamous Second Son will start off with a bang, and Thief and Watch Dogs, and then there's The Division somewhere, and then there's The Witcher 3.
Division's high on my list.
Oh, it looks awesome. It looks great.
And
then there's Destiny. I mean, there's a lot of games coming out, and yeah, I mean, next gen is going to be tough to say no for you.
I will definitely be getting a new system by halfway through next year, no doubt. Probably in the spring. Probably in the spring. So
yeah, so I don't know what else to say. Hopefully you guys really enjoyed the episode, and thanks for sticking with us for another year.
Yeah,
our listener base is growing slowly but surely.
Yeah,
and we really appreciate that. I mean, do you have anything you want to say to the people?
I just want to wish everybody happy holidays and stay safe. Keep playing. Send those tweets out to us. Let us know how much you hate us or how much you love us.
Yeah, follow us on Twitter again. I mean, I know there's a lot of voices yelling at you all the time, but let Grizzled Veterans be the voice of reason and follow us.
So yeah, Happy New Year, guys. And
stay safe.
We'll see you in 2014.
Thanks for sticking with us, gaming enthusiasts. Thanks for letting me do my thing. Looking forward to the relaunch next year.
Awesome, guys.
I'm sad now.
Oh.
Now I go cook me tacos.
Here we go.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.